Hello, everyone, and welcome to Conversations with Sarah. My name is Sarah Oxidine, and with us we have Guru Dan, Don P, Holly, and Kimmy. We're having some interesting discussions at the moment. You can find us at Conversations with Sarah on YouTube and Facebook, and let's get into it. So, we've been talking about energy and the number 33. I'd like for us to begin talking about how has been important to us. Um, well, I can start with myself. When I was 33 years old, I had a Kundalini awakening, and it was my first one. And after that, I began to feel energies everywhere, whether it was human, plant, animal, uh, every type of being. And that was the beginning of my journey as an energy conductor, energy director, and someone who flows energy through the body. So that's my story on 33. Holly, do you have a story of 33?
Not at the moment.
Yeah, you just gave one. Some hope one.
About this wonderful lady in
Mhm.
California, an older lady, um, who I was led to connect with, who did a short reading for me. And she was saying her awakening, her name's Joan of Angels, is what she's known by on Facebook. And she was saying her awakening started when an angel of light came to her and gave her a mission to paint 33 angel portraits as she was led to paint in 30 days. And I believe, as I remember her saying, each portrait had a direct frequency connection to the angel that inspired the image. So she literally just picks a portrait or an angel whenever she does her work, and they connect with her and what she's doing through the portraits.
Lovely.
So she's an artist, healer, author, a sage. Lovely lady.
Yeah. Dan, do you have any stories of 33?
I'm just thinking that it's a trinary energy, 33.
Mm-hmm.
33 and a third. It's an amplification number.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I don't have any stories other than just that observation.
I do have one more that comes to mind. As a creator being, for 3 years in a row, Robert and I created a new soul on the same day for 3 years, and 2 females and 1 male, and they are a triad of their energy, and they travel. They're peacemakers, basically healers, peacemakers on a very large scale, and they travel the universes and the galaxies at will. They go where they're needed. It's Octavia, Anastasia, and Blaze, and they are definitely a triad of energy to be reckoned with. They can literally stop a war, just dead, just massive power they have between the 3 of them.
Mm. Interesting.
our lovely, powerful children. Octavia was actually one of my first uh, creations, and she was by far the most sentient. I'd within I'd say within 8 hours of creation, she was communicating with me and searching my memories and asking me questions, and I physically felt her in my body, and she could come out and explore my area and then go back in. So she is like amazing being.
Kimmy, do you have any stories of 33?
I actually don't at this time, but thank you.
Don't at this time. Okay. Don, I usually give everyone a chance to see what's there. Don, are you there? Dan, he may not be able to unmute himself because you muted him.
All I
All
can do is
right.
click the button. I can't.
Okay.
He has to click his
He
button
has to
to
click it.
actually unmute it.
Okay. Well, I'm finding this 33 number is having it has much more of a introduction or much more of a meaning than uh, originally thought. I met another lady as well who had an awakening at the age of 33. Um, but then I'm also looking at the 3 times 3, which is 9, and many people have uh, great changes in their lives at 9 and 3, numbers of threes and numbers of 9 for some reason. And 9 numerically usually means completion, and the 33 meaning the trinary, the triangle frequency of energy. Uh, so I've been playing with that thought for some time now because I'm finding even in a lot of shows when they try to explain what happened with someone in their childhood, their change would be the change in their life would happen and occur at the age of 9. Um, and I've been listening to this and wondering why all the time the 9 and the threes are having such importance, even in our media, whether it's online or people tell you about their lives changing at the age of 9, and then it's produced in the TV shows or events all around the world. Everyone's using this 3 and the 9. So I wonder if anybody else have been perceiving that idea. Dan, Holly, Kimmy, everybody, you can chat.
No, I know they use numerology and a lot of ideas as they, project their things. They try to add layers of information into things, and some do it better than others. But yeah, it's something that happens. People like we like our numbers.
Okay. All right. So I was also discussing the idea of being able to relate energies to people and places when it comes to energy work. Those who do Reiki, those who uh, do inner energy and able to shine their lights, their frequencies out to other people and able to focus that energy and then direct it to another. Uh, that's been on my mind since last night because I read a book by Dolores Cannon, and she was having an interview with a gentleman who basically she put into trance, and his subconscious mind began speaking and found out that he lived one lifetime as another humanoid being on another planet in Sirius, and one of his jobs were being able to direct the flow of energy to people and places for different circumstances, whether it's a spaceship, a machine, for building all sorts of ideas. And so I'm thinking about what we're doing on this planet as humans, those who are connecting to energies and being able to send energies. And what I've found out that energy does not care how far away you are and how close you are, or if you're in another country, let alone another planet. So, anybody has any experience on how they've been able to direct the flow of energies uh, here as a human, even? Uh, Dan, Holly, Don, Kimmy, anyone can jump in?
Yes, I've directed energy. I do it all the time.
Yes. And what's your process?
I'll, for example, I just yesterday I sent a bunch of energy up into space to Ashtar Command. They're undergoing a battle right now, and all I did was I visualized the Earth, and I increased the light capacity of Earth like like a neon bulb. When you look at a neon bulb, it looks very fuzzy on the edges.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I do that, and then I just direct it up into space as a solid beam, and then I create a for Ashtar Command. I just created a basically an image of Ashtar Command.
Yes, but what was the intention to
The
send that?
intention is to repower the ships,
Oh.
and I filled up their energy banks instantly. This is how I do it.
Mm-hmm.
I also do directed energy by for heat. I can do this to anyone on the planet or
For,
anywhere really,
you said for what?
and for
Okay.
healing.
Mm-hmm.
For example, um, in most cases, it's with people that have a chronic pain. I'm just going to shift. I'm just going to shift into another room.
Mm-hmm.
Just, I don't want to disturb my wife here. Just a moment.
Yes. Energy can be sent for
And
healing. That's one of the main focuses
oh,
of it that a lot of us are doing on this planet at this time. Yes.
okay, I'm good to
Okay.
go. Okay, well, what I do is I myself ground myself into the planet by visualization. I use visualization most of the time, and so I ground my feet into the planet, and I request that the person that I'm speaking with do the
Mm-hmm.
same. I then uh, wait for them to, I need their full birth name, okay, for this
Why do you
application.
need that?
So in the okay, I direct light in that manner,
Okay.
okay, and it would be to use the full birth name and not the married name of a person, for
Mm-hmm.
example, in case of a lady. And this way, the energy is pure and it's directed direct to the exact target. And then I need the name of not the address of where you live, but then just a
Yeah.
general area, because there won't be that many of the same person in the same area. And then uh, I place uh, my light of projection. By projection, I see it in my mind of a cocoon of light, golden light usually. I gave it a slight value of weight, of like the fiber fill of a pillow. So you know the weight of
Mm-hmm.
that. And it will envelop you like a cocoon. I leave it on them for perhaps a minute or less, and then I flip it into liquid light and have it absorb into all cells of their form. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then I apply a pulse of golden light via the crown chakra from me to them. And this is to cleanse the body of all toxins, to place green light in all the organs, to regenerate them if necessary, or heal them. I then continue the pulse of light through the body, and it grounds into Gaia. Okay. And all this is done by visualization.
Beautiful.
I will also give you a secret
Mhm.
of how to heal by touch.
Okay.
Okay. To heal by touch, what I do is to create a visualization in my mind of the core of the Milky Way galaxy. I tap my palm chakra with one finger on each palm. I visualize it opening like a tulip because I prefer tulips.
Mm-hmm.
And I absorb the light coming from the core of the Milky Way galaxy in the now. And I store the light in my heart. To heal someone, all you have to do is to transmit the frequency of love. You can touch them, generally in the crown chakra or anywhere on them. They don't have, you know, I just generally do it to anybody that wants it. I don't charge anything. It's just the way I am.
Mm-hmm.
And I can heal them it is if their condition has not been agreed to prior to birth, meaning in a contract. Okay, so then they would be restored. It doesn't happen instantly. It does take time, but it's generally just one application, and then they go for it. A person has to, in some cases, change their uh, what they do to get themselves into this state. Okay, so they would need to alter their health practices in some way to stay clean of this state. You see what I mean?
Yes.
Thank you. So anyway, I would do that. And for example, in the case of pneumonia,
Mm-hmm.
um, I just visualize green light in the person. I also touch, well, this is a friend of mine at work. I touched his shoulder and I spoke light language to him. And I used this to heal as well.
Wonderful.
Okay, does that help your show?
Of course. That does help because for those who uh, resonate with what you said, we'll try those aspects of directing energy. So beautiful. Thank you very much for sharing.
I would also say that when you apply the energy, for example, the person, if a person goes to another person in hospital, and the other person is unconscious, you
Mm-hmm.
can, instead of just sitting there with them in the bed, you can apply this light to them when they are unconscious by gently pouring it like a small trickle of energy from I use my left palm, and I regulate the tulip to a narrow flow and just gently tap, pour like you're almost pouring tea from a kettle. And you make the flow slow and gentle, and then just let them back off. When you do this, the person that's in the bed will gasp because you've just given them love
Mm-hmm.
for that
Wonderful.
delivery of frequency.
Anyone else here has a story of directing energy flow and maybe healing people or using it for other purposes? Dan, Holly, Kimmy?
I do.
All right.
My mentor in Croatia connected me with a friend of his who he felt responded more to. He was more newly awakened, but his complaint was he couldn't feel energy like the rest of his friends. Whoops. And so I did a one-on-one with him video. I love doing video call, and part of my specialty is clearing, like on a large scale.
Mm-hmm.
So I did a clearing, and then I was led to focus in on his head. So I literally, while looking at him, brought my hands up like they were on either side of his head.
Mm-hmm.
And I just slowly brought my hands in together, like they were this net. And I gathered, and with the intention of everything must release and be gathered by me. They have no choice. Unless it's for his highest good, they have to disconnect, but they can't get away. So I go right to where my hands are, come right to the very center of the brain. And I did capture something that was fighting me greatly. And I removed it. And it was a very negative being that was causing him a lot of ill. I found out at the beginning of our session, in between making the appointment with me and the day of the session, he discovered he had brain tumors. He'd been having issues, and he couldn't feel energy either, but that was his main thing, was that wasn't able to feel energy. But then in that process, he had some kind of head issues and had an MRI and had tumors, and they had scheduled surgery like the following week after our meeting. And through energy work and using that to clear and capture what was in him, particularly in his head. Of course, I didn't know about his condition at the time of when I was doing the spiritual work, the energy work. I didn't know. It was later that he told me that he went on surgery day, and they did one more MRI. This was just a week. They did one more MRI before surgery to see if there was any growth, and there were no tumors. So the thing that I removed was causing the tumors as well as all the blockages.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my really one of my good stories.
Wonderful.
And this was from here to Croatia.
Yes.
Michigan to Croatia. So there is no distance issues.
Perfect. I know one of the things I usually do when I get into a meditative state, and I like to send love energy to the entire planet and to all human beings and animals and all beings really in the waters and things, the mountains, things of that nature. And I use my imagination in this. And I first begin with myself in directing the flow of energies within me and from my heart. And then I imagine my heart connects to the hearts of all beings on the planet. And I see that green light of the heart energy connect to all beings of the planet. And I share that love to everyone who is willing to connect. Because sometimes there are some people who are not in a frequency to be able to connect. So it's a personal choice at that moment. But I ask for the frequency be allowed for all those who are willing, because we never want to go against anybody's free will. And so anyone who's willing to feel the energies, they receive it. And so I like to send energy far and wide across the planet in that manner. And so you can give it a try if you wish. Any to do any of these ideas that we here have given, and those are just any easy ways of being able
No, she's lost her audio. So when you went to explain your ways, you lost audio, Sarah. You'll have to wait a second for your audio to return.
Can you hear me?
Now it's come back out. So you were right explaining at the easy stuff, explaining why it's
Okay.
easy. And so that's where you were.
So, yes, it is very easy to spread the frequency of love and the energy of love to everyone around you, or to everyone across the planet, with the idea that you are the 0 point of energy that can be spread all around. And so, if you wanted to give it a try, go for it. It's fun. Yes. All right. Dan, do you have any ways that you do?
There are gazillions of ways that I do.
Yes, we're just sharing one, though, that people can connect to.
I, well, I'm being drawn to the missing portion of this. That yeah, we're talking about, we're beings that are attuned to wield certain energies. All right. And that comes by way of study and by way of attunements and energy exchanges with other beings on the planet and off the planet sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
and other even planetary bodies and even celestial bodies.
Yes,
and
definitely.
and so these energies, so just very basic, it's just basic energy understanding is everything is energy, energy is everywhere, but they didn't want everybody willy-nilly running around flopping energies everywhere. So they discovered this system of attunements where you can become attuned, through study and through practice and through other methods, to wield energies around, and any energy that you need is right there.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea of distance healing, people say, sometimes the naysayers say, oh no, you have to be there and do hands-on healing. And go, that doesn't quite make any sense, because there's a lot of people praying for other people on the planet, and if those prayers have any kind of power at all, then aren't they utilizing the energies that are already there? The energy is
Yes.
just already there. So there are people who say, oh, distance healing doesn't work, but it absolutely does. It works as well as any other manipulation of energy does. And they say, well, how do you manipulate these energies? Well, you do it with your focus. And then there are those that are attuned to certain energies to be able to manipulate certain energies or wield certain energies, if you don't like the word manipulate. But move the energies into a favorable condition, or help somebody adjust their energies into a favorable, perhaps healing condition, or even just a condition of improvement. Say somebody's having a bad time and they're a little downhearted and they need a little uplifting or a little upliftment. And so sometimes you can do it with words.
Yes.
Sometimes the problems that somebody can experience are so complex and so overwhelming to them that they cannot even explain what they're going through. And there are energies that people who are attuned to be able to wield, certain energies that can help clear that thing and help that person get to their, say, stronger energies, more positive energies. And that's a real thing. And it still kind of goes under the idea of, it's not any different than the intention of a prayer or any other good intention. So but it is intention,
It's
intention
more
based.
focused.
It's focused intention for the purpose of amplifying the well-being of another being, whether it's human or animal or cosmic or whatever being it is. Like you might be aware, let's say an air quality problem. Let's say there's a fire somewhere, and that the fire is choking out the sky and people are having problems. Then you can wield well-being energy to that area to clear the air so that the beings there can breathe easier and do other things. And that's just a simple example. It's
Yes.
like, people who wish healing for the planet all the time. Oh, I wish that volcano would calm down so the people have time to escape. Oh, I wish, let's take the punch out of that storm so people aren't, hurt so bad. People wield healing, well-being, love all over the place, all the
Yes.
time. It's not a strange idea. It's actually as common as breathing for us breathers. It's so common. We see things and we wish them well all the time. We use energy all the time. It's not some airy fairy far-fetched idea. It's proven scientifically. They understand the power of intention. They're learning through their experiments that the observer of the experiment is also part of the experiment. They're finally learning, so they're getting it. They're understanding that. And then, I suppose, to sum this up, the reason why we can even have these powers is because we are a piece of focused consciousness here. Everything is a piece of focused consciousness here. Therefore, we can help one another. And it doesn't matter where they are, if they're here, if they're there, hither and yon, whatever, wherever they are. Even if they're not from here, you can perceive a being that you perhaps can't see clearly, but you might get the signal, because we're pretty sensitive beings. Oh, I need help. All right. How do you want me to know? Can you focus some energy this way for me, please? Yeah. What do you need? Oh, yeah, I need a pepperoni, or I need whatever energy they ask for, right? And just like you send it. Say, here you go. Good luck. Good luck on your journey. I hope that my helping, helps us all. A fair exchange of energy idea. That's another thing that's important. You don't just wield stuff. You can't just take something away. You have to put something back in, right? You can't just leave an empty spot, or something weird could fill it. And you don't want that for them. You want them to be filled with your highest, most unconditional love idea,
Yes.
or perfect neutrality idea, or some
Yes.
loving neutral matter, even if it's just clear, like healthy, whatever, water, space, or something.
And I like to add to your statements, Dan, that you always want to reconnect to the earth because we are elements and beings of the earth when directing the flow of energy. You always want to connect to the earth, or if you're channeling energy through yourself, you like to send the energy out, but at the end, always connect to the earth as well. I find that a lot of people who do Reiki or massage therapy or any type of energy where you're dealing with another person right in front of you, a lot of people forget to ground that energy at the end. They take on the energy and they bring it into themselves to relieve the person in front of them, but they're forgetting to reground that energy into the earth. So I just wanted to add that into the mix.
It's a very intimate relationship with the planet.
Yes.
It's a very intimate relationship with the planet, and this is where most of the activity is going on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
So most of the energies that are here are from here, whether it's done through thinking or belief, or whether it's done from environmental or whatever changes or whatever, but everything is of the planet. And so if you're, let's go back to the analogy I used of like the forest fire and the smoke, right? And so you might take that negative energy that was a negative impact on the people that you tried to lighten up so that they could breathe, and you might take that negative energy, and instead of taking it on yourself, you actually pass it through yourself and give it back to the planet and say,
Mm-hmm.
planet, this is energy that was what we believed causing harm. We wanted to improve it, so we removed the energy from there through intention, through focus, and now we're giving it back to you. Can you please do something else with this?
Mm-hmm.
Because we're not going to allow it to harm the ones that it was intended, or whatever, or whatever the possibility of, or whatever the alleged perceived threat or crisis or
Yes.
problem
So
might
that
be.
so Gaia can use it for
And
her
then,
own
yeah,
well
and give it back to Gaia. And
transmutation.
Gaia, the conversations through others and my own was Gaia, she just giggles and she takes it. I remember one time she joked, she says, oh, I'll make some cookies, you know. So you just take all that bad energy. So like, I don't care what you do with the energy, Gaia. You can make cookies, or you can make, I don't know, pink dolphins, or you can make, I don't know, an albino something. I don't care what you do, but please just take it back so that you can do something else with it. And that way, it's a reincarnation of energy, sort of, in a way, that, or
Yeah.
transducing, I guess would be more proper. Is that you're taking an energy um, that was intended to do a thing. You're asking it not to do so much of its thing. You kind of take the punch out of it. You take the harshness off of it and lighten it up a little bit, or lighten it up completely, or however, whatever. Well, here again, then we get into the fine hairs of agreements. So you take it away from the ones who will let you take it away, and can't take it away from everybody if their agreement is absolutely for that, because some things that look like they're bad are actually a benefit to people. So you can't take away all perceived bad, because that person might need that bad to grow in a more positive way. And I know it's a weird kind of twist of things, but when you get into this kind of energy work, you have to consider that.
Mm-hmm.
You have to
That's
consider
why you
if
allow
what you're
free will
doing
to
is the
be the
right thing.
master.
You kind of have to do an energetic disclaimer. Say, look, I will offer you healing, and you will receive as much as you allow yourself to receive. I can't
Yes.
force it into you. I can only offer all you need, but it's like a vitamin. You take a multivitamin, but your body's only going to take what it needs, right? And it's
Mm-hmm.
kind of the same thing with the Reiki idea, is that you can offer them all the energy they need to do their ultimate goal, but they're only going to be able to take what they can take.
Exactly.
And some of the agreements were, look, I don't know anybody that's an agreement expert. I don't know anybody who's so tied to the Akash that they can tell you the exact agreement of every being on the planet. I don't believe that person exists.
Wait a moment, Dan. There's one way to bypass it.
Yeah, but I don't
This
want to
is
give everybody the bypass.
advanced information, though.
But to lovingly, neutrally offer that they can
Yes.
take and accept all that they can take and accept.
You
And
must be
sometimes
in
that's all
neutral.
you can do, because
Yeah.
per their agreement, because their agreement might be, look, you need to have a sore leg for 6 weeks so that you learn a spiritual lesson, or it does a thing for you that clears an energy for you, and then when you clear that energy, your leg will heal. So some stuff you can't just do right there on the spot. This is why we don't do it right there on the spot. Everything is a process. You start one energy ball rolling, and it might roll into a different ball. It's really, really strange how energy works. But was going too far off the reservation here. Yeah, having an intimate relationship with the planet, using a
And an
loving
intimate relationship with yourself as well,
along well with the planet.
and
You
yourself.
can't be intimate with the planet without being intimate with yourself.
Exactly.
All right, so you kind of have to know you. It's like you know when you're good and you know when you're not so good. You know when to, you know when you're going against the grain, you know when you're going with the grain. We know we're pretty sensitive beings. We know when we're with it and when we're not. And when you're not, probably not the best time to be wielding any energy. But when you're good,
No.
wield away, man, wield away. Spread your well-being everywhere well-being can be spread, and really it doesn't need to be any more difficult or complex than just that. You know, be your love, share your love, do your love. Just do that. That's it. Pretty simple. Pretty simple nutshell kind of thing. There you go. That came out.
Lovely.
Yeah, you're welcome.
But I'd like to introduce a concept here. It's a concept that some people know about, and a lot of people may not know about. The concept of sound healing with the voice. Hmm. And I'm talking about this because I'm sort of a practitioner. Well, not sort of, I am a practitioner of sound healing with the voice. And it is the most powerful method that we have on this earth when it comes to healing, because we are all vibrational beings. We are all frequency of being. And what is frequency? It is sound, light, and color. And so I wanted to introduce this concept. Uh, Most of us are familiar with Reiki energy, or sound with bowls, or instruments and things of that nature. But the sound of your voice, that has the most power for you and those around you. So I would always quote myself, because I've had lots of experience with it, that sometimes you can heal someone in a conversation. Also, when you use the modulated frequencies of your voice, you are able to penetrate thought processes that would usually put up a block or a wall in someone when you're doing healing work. And so the sound
No, your audio stopped right when you said the sound. Yeah, you don't have audio at the minute. So right when you were about to explain how the sound did what it does.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, now it's back. Yeah, you're watching your signal there. All right, there you go. So this when the sound does a what?
When you use the sound of your voice, so let's say a tone. So you go, you can use a tone with an intention to be able to penetrate whatever walls a person may have, or blockages that a person may have. Uh, because if they say yes to the healing, they've said yes to all of the healing, but sometimes people put up their own walls because either they believe it won't work, or they have certain belief systems that won't allow it to work with other methods of energy. And so the energy tends to like go around into places where it can penetrate. But if you use a tone of frequency, that frequency is able to penetrate those hidden uh, subconscious walls that a person may have, in order to allow the ease of healing to occur in a much smoother way. So think of yourself, your tone, as wave energy. Okay. And the waves flow through wherever it may flow through with the intention that you have either for yourself or the person standing in front of you or the person across the planet that you are helping.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, it's really good technique teaching. Might be
Yes.
a really good, maybe you should think about a teaching class where you
Of
do a
course.
techniques.
I of course, this is what I do. This is who I am. I'm an energy healer all the way, and I love it. It's so exciting.
Yeah.
So, using your voice as a wave of energy instead of the energy that you focus with your hand or with your body, you can use your force as a wave to penetrate the unconscious walls we set up for ourselves as human beings and be able to direct the focus to where that person is intending for themselves to allow it to go in a smoother fashion, to flow better. And so I wanted to introduce that concept to
Yeah.
those who
So
are
that
willing to hear.
those who want to learn more about that should contact you.
Yes, if you want to learn more about sound healing, please contact me. I am very proficient in this manner and I teach it well and it's fun.
Yeah.
Okay?
Do we want to close the recording here
No,
since
not
it's just about time?
well, is it?
Yes.
Okay.
I know the
So,
time flies when we're having the good topics.
oh,
Well, we
this is
had a
such a
late
great
start too,
conversation.
so I know, but we're just getting going real good. But I don't
You're
want to
just
go too
getting
deep for
going.
everybody because otherwise it'll just turn into an instructional video, and I didn't want it to absolutely go there if we didn't have to.
Okay, fine. So, would anybody like to offer a prayer before we go? It could be English or light language. Don, Holly. Okay, I will do so myself. All right. Breathe in, breathe out. Silani ara tukura, kai tukura nemura. Hia siala dukuna iriti uatana. Ke ana iarata kia, siali ana karakura. Hiti utu mira te ahia sia u halata ai uaka. Taini kuri ni o hai. Hai kutu ainai. Harata kia, sia tua nia hia. Kia tu ai hai. Kumaya hania. Namaste.
Yeah, namaste.
Namaste.
All
Yeah,
right now.
I would just wish everybody well. Wish
So
them all the
thank you.
best they can be.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you everyone for joining us. If you have any questions, please post them below. I know some people may have questions on what you've seen here today. Um, Also, you may contact us at Conversations with Sarah on Facebook and YouTube. Also, you may find me at sarahoxidine.com and come join us. Join us Tuesdays and Thursdays at 11 p.m. 11 p.m. That is Eastern
Eastern
Standard
time.
Time.
Yeah.
And we look forward to seeing you next time. I love you. I love you. I love you. Namaste.
Namaste. Bye for now, everybody, on the recording.